Take your seats.
A year ago, the 44th Ordinary Section of the Executive Council mandated the African Union Commission to develop. Today, we present the outcome of this process, which includes the draft CAADP Strategy and Action Plan 2026-2035 and the draft Kampala CAADP Declaration. 3 days ago, the Ministers of Agriculture examined these documents and provided valuable recommendations and improvement. Yesterday, the joint meeting of Ministers of Agriculture and Ministers of Foreign Affairs endorsed these documents and made recommendations to the General Assembly for adoption. A key motivation in this Kampala CAADP Declaration round, in contrast to Malabo and Maputo round, is the inclusion of a comprehensive strategy and action plan, a clear roadmap, a theory of change that outlines the pathway for transformation, realistic and implementable strategic objective, a broadened policy scope, enhancing food system approaches and targets that reflect the continent's aspiration.
Excellencies, right from the 1960s, when our political movement started, initially as a student movement, we were able to see that a country like Uganda, located around the equator, could be very advanced and prosperous on the basis of the 4 sectors of the economy. These 4 were identified as commercial agriculture, manufacturing, services, and ICT. In the pre-colonial and colonial times, our economy was mainly pre-capitalist and based on subsistence agriculture, or kola echida chonka in our language, meaning working only for the stomach, for home consumption. We also had some artisan craft skills such as obuhensi, blacksmithing, kubeja, woodwork, kunogora, ceramics, etc., and some primordial services such as kuragura, healing, etc. By the end of the colonial times, only 9% of the homesteads were in the narrow colonial cash economy, described as, in quotes, enclave economy, meaning a small island of modernity surrounded by a sea of underdevelopment. That enclave economy of the colonial economy of Uganda was described as the economy of the 3 C's and 3 T's. The 3 C's being coffee, cotton, and copper, and the 3 T's being tobacco, tea, and tourism. The agricultural and the mineral products being mainly exported as raw materials without making final products out of them, except for some small effort of the Nile textile factory of only 23 million meters, started by a progressive British governor, Andrew Cohen, who arrived in Uganda in 1952. Our line, therefore, ever since the 1960s, has been as follows. A, fully commercialize agriculture to achieve food security and homesteads income security by undertaking agricultural enterprises guided by the HVRO. We use this word HVRO to meaning to calculate the maximum possible returns given the size of the family land. B, in commercializing agriculture, use the strategy of intensive agriculture for families of 4 acres or less, and extensive agriculture for families of bigger lands. With intensive agriculture, you select high-value enterprises which, though you do them on a small scale, you get good family income. While with extensive agriculture, you can adopt low-value crops, which when you do them on a big scale, you still get good money, good income for the family because of the scale. C, the country needs both the products of intensive agriculture and extensive agriculture because many times one needs the other. D, in our 1996 election manifesto, we identified 7 enterprises for intensive agriculture. And these were coffee, 1 acre, fruits, 1 acre, dairy products, 1 acre for pasture, for dairy cows, then 1 acre for food crops for the family within those 4 acres. And then poultry for eggs and piggery in the backyard, back of the house, at the back. It's called a kanyima or a manju. I think in Swahili they call it uwani, at the backyard there. Plus fish farming for those near the wetlands, on the periphery of the wetlands, not in the center. In our calculation, crops like cotton, tea, maize, sugarcane, and enterprises like ranching could only make money for the family when they are done on a medium or large scale. Recently, our people have been adding crops like palm oil, cocoa, and cashew nuts on the list of the high-value crops that can give good incomes to the families, even if you do them on 1 acre. To do some of the intensive agriculture enterprises, you need inputs from the extensive agriculture products. To produce poultry feeds, animal feeds for pigs, fish meals, etc., you need maize, sugar byproducts, etc. If you are to import all these, it may render your products uncompetitive. We had to do this, Your Excellencies, because in the colonial times and in the post-colonial times, they would make our people grow things like cotton. You hear that Uganda is producing a lot of cotton. Yes, Uganda was producing a lot of cotton. But the families which were producing the cotton were in poverty because nobody had bothered to calculate what is the average land size of the family land. We then realized the danger and the unfairness of confining ourselves to just producing raw materials for other countries far away to transform into finished products. A kilogram of coffee may give us US dollars 2.5 as a raw material. However, the same kilogram roasted, ground into powder, and packaged will give the cleverer foreigners who added those steps abroad US dollars 40. So Africans get $2.5 per kilo, and the same kilo transformed into finished products by foreigners brings them $40. This is how Africa has been a major donor to the parts of the world that are managed by cleverer people. Sorry to use these words. We do not only lose money per kilogram of coffee, we also lose jobs. The roasting jobs, the grinding jobs, and the packaging jobs are done by the children of the foreigners. While Africa's children are drowning in the Mediterranean Sea, going to prosperous Europe and running away from the impoverished Africa. I normally tell people that a shirt like the one I'm putting on, which is made here in Uganda, has got 6 job levels. This shirt here. Level 1, grow the cotton. Level 2, gin the cotton. Ginning means remove the seeds from the cotton. Now, in many African countries, that's where they end. They end at ginning. Level 3, spinning. Spinning, you get the thread from the cotton. Level 4, weaving to make a fabric. Level 5, putting colors. Level 6, tailoring. So out of the 6 job levels, Africa has been ending at, many of the African countries have been ending at level 2. All the other levels out, the money goes away, but also the jobs. All those go away. The battle for value addition has been a big one because there are lobbies that want to keep Africa as a raw materials producing continent. In Uganda, we have moved in some areas, a bit in textiles, a lot in the dairy products, a lot on fish, a lot on sugar, a bit on maize, a bit on leather, a bit on furniture and wood products, etc. What is true of agricultural raw materials, is of course also true of the raw materials of minerals, forest products, etc. Uganda discovered some oil about 20 years ago. Up to now, we have not started pumping the oil out of the ground. We're about to start. But the main problem was we didn't agree with the oil companies because they were saying that we should build a pipeline to take the oil, the petroleum, out of the country. Then I told them that I had a rumor that there were human beings here. Why don't we process this petroleum for these human beings who are rumored to be here? It's not confirmed, but there's a rumor that there are some big battle. They told me that oil refineries don't make money. So then I said, but if they don't make money, those who run them, why do they run them? Are they Mother Teresa's? Now, I happened to go to Iran. I went to Iran. When I went there, I said, you people, do you have oil refineries? They said, yes, we have 9. Iran had 9 refineries. Now here they didn't want me to have one, just one. So because of those battles, it took time, but now eventually they gave up. We shall build the refinery and the pipeline also. And the main reason I support the pipeline is that it will go through Tanzania, my other country, so that they can get some share in our resource, which is theirs also. But that's why it's a very big battle. You can imagine somebody arguing, and when they made a calculation, the oil refinery here is very, very productive, very profitable. What they call the internal rate of return is IRR. It's very high, much higher than in other places. So that war of wanting to keep Africa as a raw material producing continent is a very big one. The value addition to agricultural products, this is H, ensures vertical integration in the agricultural sector, from the garden to the table, and from the farm to the wardrobe for clothes, shoes, etc. However, it also ensures horizontal integration with the other sectors, manufacturing, services, etc. How can you say that you are promoting tourism when all the food the tourists eat is being imported? In Uganda, the hotels serve Ugandan liquid milk, yogurt, butter, sugar, fruits, beef, etc. On account of reasons I cannot understand, some Ugandans insist on eating wheat bread and rice. In order to launch our agriculture on the journey of socio-economic transformation away from the pre-capitalist, pre-socialist traditional mode to modern commercial agriculture, we have done the following. Roman 1, politically mobilize through sensitization the people to move away from the pre-money, working only for the stomach, to commercial agriculture with the chibaro, with the calculation. 67% of the homesteads in Uganda are now in the money economy for the first time in human history. At independence, only 9% were in the money economy. With these measures, Africa will be a superpower economically. Since ancient times, this part of Africa had strong agriculture. We always have 2 harvests in a year. The harvest of Katumba, the season of March to end of May, and Omwaka, the big harvest of August to December. The harvest of May is called Obujegashe, the small harvest, and the one of August to December is called Omwaka, the big yearly harvest. All this was with the traditional technology and just the rain-fed agriculture. In some areas, however, there was some irrigation in ancient Egypt and the Kilimanjaro area. I need to conclude my remarks by talking about the issue of water for livelihood and for production, as well as the need for removing the non-tariff barriers in the CFTA, Continental Free Trade Area. Uganda is lucky in that we have a lot of water. Our major problem is to persuade our uninformed or misinformed people by guiding them to stop undermining our water resources by encroaching on the wetlands, the forests, the catchment areas, the river banks, and the lake shores. Some other parts of Africa, however, are not so lucky. Northern Africa has got a water problem. Even Southern Africa gets periodic shortages of water. Here in the Nile Valley, we are always arguing about the 85 billion cubic meters of that river at Khartoum, the River Nile. In the past, I posed a question to Dr. Boutros Ghali of Egypt, the following questions. Question number 1. Are you aware that the Congo River has got 3,000 billion cubic meters of water per annum going into the Atlantic Ocean? Because here in the Nile, we are quarreling about 85 billion cubic meters of water at Khartoum. But the River Congo is 3,000 billion cubic meters of water per year. In other words, the River Congo is equivalent to 30 Niles. Nile 1, Nile 2, Nile 3, Nile 3, 30 of them in the River Congo. On the issue of non-tariff barriers, there is no doubt that they undermine the advance of agriculture in Africa. Uganda easily produces all types of agricultural products: maize, sugar, milk, beef, poultry products, etc. The internal market is not enough. However, production is disrupted when in some years, some of the brother countries say they have bumper crops and de-license Ugandan products. Why do you de-license products of a brother country? If you have a bumper crop, let the products compete. I had some issues here with some of the Ugandan inefficient rice growers. Tanzanian rice is better and cheaper. So they were saying I should ban Tanzanian rice. I said, no, I cannot do that. If you are inefficient, get out of business, go and do something else. If you have a bumper crop, let the products compete. After the Ugandan product has been de-licensed, then you hear that the de-licensing country has now a shortage of this or that. Can they now import it from Uganda? By that time, the Ugandan farmers have been rendered bankrupt and have migrated to new products such as coffee that are mainly bought by foreigners away from Africa. How would African agriculture sustainable advance with this erraticness? I thank everybody.
I'm particularly pleased to address to His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, President of the Republic of Uganda, to the government and the brotherly people of Uganda, my best wishes for the year 2025, and my warm thanks for the quality of the welcome marked by brotherhood and the special attention, and even more for all the efforts made to ensure the best conditions for success in the organization of this summit. Holding a summit on agriculture in Africa in Kampala is the right thing to do. A wonderful sign of recognition of your total commitment, President Museveni, to farmers and headers. You yourself are a farmer. You are also a champion of transforming agriculture into a powerful lever for wealth creation for the people of Africa. Excellency, ending my tenure in African Union, I think I should come here to learn farming from your experience. You thus opted for an institutional solution through CAADP, adopted by the Assembly of the Union and identifying all the negative factors that lie at the root of the low rate of the attainment of our set of goals appropriés. Je vais parler de la mécanisation, de la digitalisation substantielle, des retombées de l'opérationnalisation de la zone de libre-échange continentale ZLECAf.
Amplifying the success of many African countries who are determined to be incorporating this diverse perspective has enriched the summit discussions and strengthened the foundation for actionable outcomes to build a robust framework for Africa's agri-food system transformation. I call as an advisory body to the Executive Council, the PRC holds.
She is the State Minister, Madame Borge Sangria.
Yoweri Kaguta Museveni and the government of Uganda for the exceptional warm and gracious hospitality which has made our stay both comfortable, food security efforts, and together we have witnessed notable progress.
Devemos encontrar os consensos necessários à aprovação de uma estratégia e plano de ação
of sustainable development. We'll come out of this summit with new directives for the